shine, Mr. Freeman.
Yes, Gordon Freeman, you've overslept long enough. Half-Life 2 has been so long in coming, even the characters in the game seem surprised to see Gordon.
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman? Is that you?
Dr. Gordon Freeman himself.
Gordon Freeman.
That's not who I think it is.
Gordon Freeman. It's incredible you made it.
Okay, enough. Gordon's been gone a while and has suddenly plopped down in City 17. Jackbooted alien thugs in gas masks called the Combine are in charge now. But Gordon's old friends from Half-Life 1 aren't about to let that go unchallenged.
It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa.
Nothing like reuniting with old friends in long-awaited sequels.
I'm way behind on my beating quota.
Too much info. After some exposition and the requisite failed teleportation experiment, Half-Life 2 kicks into gear and never stops moving.
Gordon Freeman.
The graphical improvements are immediately evident. This is one of the best-looking games made yet, and the character animation and facial expressions are second to none.
Dr. Freeman, I presume.
The gameplay is familiar on a base level. You point, you shoot, you occasionally solve rudimentary puzzles.
Good job, Gordon. Throwing that switch and all. I can see your MIT education really pays for itself.
But the element of Half-Life 2 that really changes everything is the Havoc physics engine. Just about everything in the game has its own mass, weight, and can be affected by Gordon. This TV stuff will rot your brain. So will the TV stand. The physics are so integral to the game that you're even given a gravity gun to play with them.
You can call it the zero-point energy field manipulator if you really want to.
I really don't.
That's the old passage to Ravenholm. We don't go there anymore.
Can't imagine why. Who doesn't love head crab zombies? Yeah, you better shamble away. The creepy zombie-infested town is not only scarier than anything Doom 3 throws at you, it may be the best place to play around with the gravity gun. You can pick up nearly anything and fire it off as a projectile. For instance, cardboard, not the best anti-zombie weapon. Washing machines, much more effective. Or you can use the various traps scattered about. Ah, eat this. Uh-oh, time to improvise. If you didn't think that was cool, you're in the wrong hobby. One of the constant downfalls of first-person shooters is that eventually shooting things in the head gets old. Half-Life 2 nimbly dodges this pitfall by changing things up regularly. There are vehicle sections that, unlike just about every other driving sequence in the genre, are tons of fun to play. Note to Combine forces, your roadblocks suck. Later in the game, you get your own army of Starship Troopers rejects to swarm the Combine. By the end, it's full-scale war in the streets against monstrous striders. Very few games ever reach the breakneck pace and intensity level that Half-Life 2 maintains throughout. It's packed with cool moments and memorable characters.
Look to your own salvation.
This is the closest thing to a flawless game we played in a very long time. X-Play gives Half-Life 2 a 5 out of 5.
A couple of years ago, a PC shooter came out that presented its plot in a gripping and exciting way. It didn't rely on cutscenes or blah, blah, blah. You know I'm talking about Half-Life by now. It was good, and then Half-Life 2 came out, and it was good. And now Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is out. But can it continue this tradition of quality? Here's our review.
This is our train. Let's get in.
Oh, a train ride. I love train rides.
What's that? Brace yourself!
Make it stop! Oh God, just make them shut up! Thank you. You're again in the dystopic future. You have a gun that plays with gravity. And you've got a mat on for guys who wear masks. Lady Violence is singing that tune, the one we call Half-Life 2, Episode 1. Okay, first off, is it weird to anyone else that they called it Half-Life 2, Episode 1? Are they gonna call the next one Half-Life 2, 2?
You're not serious, are you?
They gave it the moniker of Episode 1 because this is the first of 3 episodic installments continuing the story of Half-Life 2. Moments after the catastrophic events of HL2, a bunch of bizarre alien shaman chant you away from certain doom. Confused yet? Here's some violence to make it all clear. Yeah, that's all you really need to know. It's time to once again unleash the continually destructive nerd in a souped-up hazmat suit, Gordon Freeman.
Jesus, Gordon, you're a real terror.
And holy does Valve deliver. The action comes in bursts of orgiastic chaos. The graphics are absolutely top-notch, and each moment of the game is gripping. If you are even remotely interested in this thing we call video games, Episode 1 is a must-play.
I think we just broke about 50 Combine regulations.
But it's not just the action. Whether it's a touching moment between Alex and her giant robot gorilla thing,
We'll catch up, don't worry.
or the occasional patches of gallows humor.
What's the password?
I'm not even gonna tell you to shut up.
Come on in.
Valve truly makes the characters of Episode 1 feel alive. Unlike that other Episode 1 movie.
The story of Star Wars really starts when Darth Vader is a whiny 5-year-old brat. And then there's Jar Jar.
Thanks, Gordon. Because you have Alex alongside you almost the entire time, it feels very much like a co-op game. Without the actual co-part. But it isn't a glorified escort mission. Alex is smart enough to take care of herself. There are a few new enemies, one being a head-crabbed Combine soldier.
Zombine, get it? Okay.
They have grenades, but I don't think they know how to use them. The AI is tougher all around, and the use of maximum firepower is highly recommended at all times.
The Force is actually caused by midi... Greedo still shoots fire.
The only complaint could be that it's so short. It clocks in at only 5 hours, but Episode 1 never claims to be a full-blown new game, and at $20, it's a roller coaster ride well worth it. A 5 out of 5.
And when Vader...
The Half-Life series really show how games are developing as an art form. The characters, they are interesting. The voice acting is great. And the story actually feels resonant.
Yeah, so next time Roger Ebert decides to talk smack about how bad video games are, maybe he should consider playing a game of Half-Life instead of writing another essay about how much he liked Nashville.
Or maybe not sitting through Doom the movie.
Blood Rain.
Or Blood Rain.
Silent Hill, not a good movie.
That is all crap.
Yes.
This arrogant opinionating, this is the kind of distinctive style you can only find on the opinion pages of second-tier college newspapers. There. And X-Play. The original Team Fortress came out in 1930, towards the end of the Great Depression, and ever since then, gamers have been wondering what the hell happened to the planned sequel. Well, apparently it went through about 3 completely different iterations before Valve finally settled on the one you're looking at here. This is Team Fortress 2, and without giving too much away, it's pretty freaking awesome. Just like in Team Fortress Classic, players can pick and choose from 9 different classes, each with their own unique strengths and weaknesses. The classes are precisely balanced, and therefore there is no best class. For example, you can play as a heavy who has 300 hit points but moves slowly, or you can choose to be a spy who has way fewer hit points but can use stealth to get the job done. It's important to explore each one of the classes and figure out what's best for you. And trust us, each one is extremely unique. Right now, there's only Capture the Flag mode and Control Point mode available, but we're sure Valve will add new gameplay types down the road. The game introduces a new wrinkle to combat. After killing the same person 4 times, you become rivals. Team Fortress 2 also features critical hits. They're just like your normal attacks, but with an extra punch. Because they happen randomly, you can't activate a critical hit. The idea is that the more aggressively you play, the more likely you'll deliver a powerful blow. It was a bit tough to get used to, but we're digging the revamped look of the game. It's sort of like The Incredibles meets Counter-Strike. We'd love to tell you what score we're giving Team Fortress 2, but for that you'll have to wait until the end of the show.
If you woke up and found yourself in a seamless glass cylinder with a not-so-comforting artificial intelligence telling you that you were the latest guinea pig for aperture science, What would be the only thing that could make you feel any better?
Cake and brief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test.
Cake? It's like she could read my mind. Portal pits you and your trusty Aperture Science handheld portal device against a series of increasingly complicated puzzle rooms. Use the portal gun to help transport crates, knock over turrets, and even catapult yourself through the air with the greatest of ease. You'll find yourself sidetracked by the possibilities of the portal. You are shepherded by Gladys, an omnipresent AI who seems equal parts friend and foe.
We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one.
If Gladys's deadpan delivery doesn't make you chuckle, then the little sweetheart turrets certainly will. But the real satisfaction in Portal comes from successfully using the portals to traverse seemingly impossible gaps. What could easily have been a demo in Fancy Duds ends up being a hilarious, addictive ride that we only wish lasted longer. At least we get cake when we finish, though, right?
Quit now, and cake will be served immediately.
Freeman.
Oh my god! Gordon!
Dr. Freeman.
Oh, yes. Everyone's favorite theoretical physicist turned underground resistance hero is back in Half-Life Episodes 1 and 2. And no one's not looking for him. Every antlion, zombie, robot, and stalker you can think of. He's a wanted man. And why? Gordon has pretty much just destroyed the Citadel in City 17, and now the whole city is going to blow. In Episode 1, the only way to escape the city is to go back inside it and contain the core of the Citadel. Episode 2 picks up right after City 17 goes Chernobyl. Alex is promptly injured by a hunter. You have to team up with the Vortigons to heal her and get her to the main arm of the human resistance. Episode 2 has several new features that fans will welcome. A common complaint about the first few installments was how enclosed the environments were. No more. Everything is much more open, giving you more freedom to move. Speaking of your enemies, the AI here is much improved. Not that Half-Life was ever known for dopey NPCs.
You idiot.
But you really get the sense here that everyone is on the same page, whether to help you or impale you with various pincers. Another thing we've been looking forward to is getting back into the driver's seat.
Shotgun.
There's just something about hanging your elbow out the window and cranking some tunes that makes me feel like a man. A man in a post-apocalyptic hell world. Kind of a combination of Kevin Costner, Mel Gibson, and a Hieronymus Bosch painting.
Get it?
The Half-Life series has always been about four things: a deep story, intense action, clever puzzle solving, and creative manipulation of environment. In the latest installment, though, you really get the sense that all the pieces are starting to come together. And now we only want one thing.
Secretions of the finest quality.
Ew, no. All we want to do is find out what happens next. Unfortunately, Val's not talking. Yet. But we have ways of getting information.
I'm not even going to tell you to shut up.
Come on in.
Now it's time for the X-Play Replay.
The orange box has earned itself a 5 out of 5. It's great to get Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1, but the original content really makes this box a must-have.
Team Fortress 2 is highly stylized, high-intensity fun.
Portal pushes puzzle games in a clever new direction and expands the Half-Life universe.
And Half-Life 2 Episode 2 continues a story we love and lets us spend more time in a world that is fascinating.
You are about to cheat. Bonus stage.
Gordon Freeman and the Resistance from Half-Life 2 have finally fought their way onto the Xbox, and now they're having a blast with its peppy Source engine. To celebrate their arrival, here's a troika of cheat codes just for you. The world of Half-Life 2 is a rough one, and you're bound to get some bumps and bruises. This code will magically regenerate 25 hit points. Those of you in the know will probably recognize this immediately as the storied Konami code. During gameplay, use the D-pad to enter up, up, down, down, left, right, VA. And now that you're all patched up, let's get back to the blasting. To eke out a little ammo from a dry environment, enter YBAX, white, YXAB, white. Now, this code only resupplies your active weapon, so it's not the kind of overpowering cheat we adore around here, but it will let you blow off a few extra heads. And last but not least, one of our favorite codes, unlock all chapters. Inputting this code will let you romp around all the game's 15 chapters willy-nilly. Again, during gameplay, enter left 4 times, black, right 4 times, and white. So, that's our special welcome to the Xbox selection of codes for Half-Life 2. If you haven't been paying attention, and why haven't you? You can see a recap of all the codes I just broke down for you on our website at g4tv.com/cheat. Episode 1 starts where Half-Life 2 left off. After getting whisked away by Tuvan throat singing aliens, you, Gordon Freeman, find yourself being salvaged by D.O.G and reunited with the desirable debutante, Alex Vance.
I was so worried.
After some hugs and kind words, she skirts away to go talk to her dad.
The Citadel could blow at any moment.
There's no question that it will, I'm afraid. Nothing short of a direct intervention in the core could possibly retard the reaction.
How to get back into the Citadel with a Jupiter-sized crater in the way? Faithful D.O.G has an idea.
Careful, hold on.
Hey, no comments on female drivers. The first real obstacle is your everyday force field. Not a problem for Alex unless you have a peg-leg stalker in your way. Alex has an idea and sends you out to get a roller mine. Work your way to the platform and press that itty-bitty red button to get your roller mine, then make your way to the elevator and back to Alex. She'll hack the mine, and then you'll propel it through the force field where it will take out those stalkers' roadside picnic.
We can get through now.
Leisurely continue, clearing the way of debris and dodging small tears in the time-space fabric. Now, make a pit stop at the communication center and get weirded out by the giant alien chud baby.
What the hell?
Next, it's a security checkpoint.
Gordon?
But instead of secondary screening, you get a powered-up gravity gun. This thing will let you pick up enemy soldiers and power orbs. Which is convenient, since you'll need those power orbs for the power receptacles that make these awesome bridges. The first 2 bridges are easy, and those troublesome soldiers are no match for your ragdoll, or gravity gun. Alex will bust a few caps as well. The 3rd bridge is a bit trickier, but all you have to do to restore power to the shielded receptacle is aim for the red light underneath it. Trudge on till you make it to the elevator. Grab a power orb and fire the elevator up.
We must be on the right track.
Immediately look skywards and get ready to catch and release large bits of debris until the elevator stops again, waiting for you to feed it some orbs.
Can you get it going again?
Just knock away the computer station to the right and get an orb hopping around in there.
Great.
Run! After the elevator, continue into a little light infantry combat, followed by some security scoping by Miss Vance.
It looks like they were deliberately trying to blow the reactor.
Now it's time to re-engage the containment field.
Good thing you know what you're doing.
Hop on the elevator and get to work. Alex is gonna sit this one out.
Hurry back.
More stalkers and more energy bridges. Don't forget the power receptacle right above you. Continue on and clear the area of soldiers before going back out to grab an orb. Feed it to turn on the first stabilizer. Go down the newly opened corridor, taking out the soldiers and flying lawnmowers. At the end, you'll see a hatch door you can rip off. Now if you're feeling foolhardy, you can try to dodge the energy balls as they chip off your health. Or you can just use that hatch door as a heat shield. Put Gordon's MIT degree to work on the second stabilizer, and then continue destroying those manhacks while you leap around the reactor core to the last stabilizer. Great! The 3rd stabilizer malfunctioned. Jump down and look into the ceiling. Ah, power orbs like so many Lochnorn. Shoot one into each of the pillars, saving the last for when you're on the lift. Great, the reactor's stabilized. Hey, but what about my suit and gravity gun? Crap! Alex has more good news. A transmission. What the hell was that thing? Keep watching Cheat and I'll show you how to summon that new hunter enemy, even though it's not in the game. Viva la Cheat!
I don't catch my breath.
What would the virtual land of video games be without classic button codes to cheat through your favorite games? A world much like that of Gordon Freeman in Valve's latest release, The Orange Box. An unhappy one. Considered to be the best bargain on the shelves, you get a total of 5 games all bundled up for the price of 1. If you picked up a copy on the Xbox 360, then you'll enjoy classic old-school cheats like God Mode and others. When you load up any Half-Life 2 game on the orange box, including episodes 1 and 2, enter this code at any time to enable invincibility. Now you can run around with an ego trip bigger than Kanye West without suffering any damage. And since we're cheating, why play from the beginning of the game? Skip past those slow-paced starter missions and get to the really juicy stuff with this code. It unlocks all the levels in each Half-Life 2 game, including episodes 1 and 2. It's City 17 a la carte, so to speak. And if you thought the deals stopped with 5 games in one box, this code also unlocks all the different test chambers in Portal. That's 4 games completely unlocked for the price of 1 code. Even Walmart couldn't slash that deal. But once you've skipped to a level in Portal you wish to conquer, you might find yourself in some trouble at times. Instead of losing your cool, check out a couple of cheats I saved just for you. If it seems impossible to retrieve an aperture science cube to hold down that stupid button, then let's just make one ourselves. Enter this code on your Xbox 360 controller, and you'll have those doors open in no time. But if you're feeling a little lazy today, then just use this code to place your portals anywhere. Zap those annoying metal walls, and you'll see why this cheat is unstoppable. Did I mention when using any of these codes you can still earn achievement points? Orange Box is not only the best bargain for its 5 games in 1, it's also the best bargains for cheats, too. Be sure to check out all these cheat codes and more on the web at www.g4tv.com/cheat.